And obviously, not everybody's going to get to testify today. They knew that, and they intentionally kept it short and one day only. But if you have signed up to testify and you don't get in, we want to hear from you. We'd love to get copies of your testimony. You can email it to me so we can share it. Maybe not everybody reads or hears what's going on in there, but we can promote it on social media. We can even anonymously if you don't want your name on social media, and we understand that. All right, I think that's all the main things. I'm just going to give you a real brief rundown of this bill. Senate Bill 323, sponsored by Senator Richard Cash, Senator Billy Garrett, and Senator Rex Rice. All men. And if you're looking on your phone and listening or watching that hearing, all the people on the committee are men. And honestly, you don't have to be a woman to have respect for people making their own decisions. Many of our best allies are men. Thank God for y'all for being here. Men, women, everything. We love you and we appreciate you. But Senate Bill 323, it's a total abortion ban. No exceptions. It requires children who have been raped to carry a pregnancy to term. Now, yes, needless to say, a 10, 12-year-old cannot safely deliver. So that will result in a forced C-section for that child. And I'd say we could help her get out of state for care, but this bill also has aiding and abetting. And that means any help we provide to somebody to get an abortion out of state, order pills, anything like that, we can go to jail for 30 years. And needless to say, y'all know this, rapists rarely get that much time. In fact, only 2% of rapists ever get prison time. So I give a phone number to you for an abortion clinic in North Carolina, and I'm going to go to jail probably longer than the rapist. It makes no sense. This bill is based on what they refer to as a model bill from the National Right to Life Committee. It is intentionally vague about some of the definitions. It is meant to confuse us, to create chaos, knowing that people will be reluctant to provide care or seek care if they can go to jail. They love to blame the doctors for this, but the doctors can what? Go to jail, lose their medical license, lose their livelihood, and have everything taken away from them. So easy to say, oh, it's the doctor's fault, but it's not. It's the law. It's the law's fault. Other parts of this bill. It defines contraception as something that prevents conception. What that means is things that could prevent implantation, if you know how pregnancy works, could be illegal. IVF could be illegal. And the reason for that is because anybody who's been through this knows that you have to retrieve more eggs, create more blastocysts than you think you need. And Senator Cash thinks that you should put all those eggs up for adoption. So you can just wander around town and run into your brothers or kids or not even know it. What is also crazy about that is IVF specialists, usually they're reproductive endocrinologists, have said that if there's a power outage or they drop a petri dish and a fertilized egg is destroyed, they could be charged with murder. Now, if that's a possibility, just like they did in Alabama, doctors are going to be reluctant to provide IVF. From a very personal point of view, IVF is critical. Somebody that I love more than myself is going through it right now. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. And to think they want to make it illegal is more than most of us can bear. There's so much bad about this bill. Fatal fetal anomalies will not be an exception. And some of my very favorite people here today have experienced that. And there's nothing more painful, more traumatic, and then they're forced to go out of state, away from their home, away from their family, away from their own doctor to get that care. And frankly, it pisses me off. One thing I'll issue warnings, anybody, profanity can be a misdemeanor or felony. It's a crime, public disturbance, or something along those lines. So try to keep your language as clean as possible. I don't want to police your language, but I don't want us or you to be kicked out of here. Okay, I think those are the main points of this awful bill. Just know that an abortion ban is always bad. Government should not be telling us what to do with our bodies. Full stop. You know, this is not complicated. And in South Carolina, every poll that's ever been done shows wide support for abortion rights. And that's in Greenville, Charleston, Columbia, Aiken, Florence, Myrtle Beach, Oconee County. Anywhere you go in South Carolina, support for legal abortion is there. Most polls have it at 75 to 85% believe that government should not interfere with these decisions. But, so why do we have those people in the legislature? Because we don't know who our legislators are. So, if anything you do today, make sure you don't leave until you know who your state senator is and your state rep, and tell them how you feel about this bill. And then work to get them defeated. And note, I'm not saying who or what, just people who push these bad bills. This is a nonpartisan, non-political event, although you cannot separate reproductive rights from politics, can you? All right, without further ado, it is my great pleasure to introduce you to one of my favorite people. She hired me, so Paige Johnson is the CEO of Planned Parenthood South Atlantic. She has so much experience in all phases of our work: patient services, lobbying, external affairs, and now she is the boss. And she's one of us, y'all. As you can tell when she talks, she sounds like me, so that's always good. But without further ado, Paige, I'm going to turn it over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Vicki. Give it up for Vicki. Woo! I don't know anybody who works harder than Vicki. I am always amazed at how she shows up every time, and shows up with a smile, and shows up with this crowd. Give it up for yourselves for being here today. Absolutely. Look around at the people that have turned out this morning in the middle of the week because you care about reproductive freedom. These are our people. This is our community. Thank you. Thank you. At Planned Parenthood South Atlantic, we are proud to provide sexual and reproductive health care in South Carolina. We are proud to provide abortion care, gender-affirming care, birth control, cancer screenings, and treatments for STIs. We are proud to provide essential basic health care to everyone who comes through our doors, including people right here in Columbia. But let me tell you, friends, as a health care provider in the South, we know what it means for our patients to lose their rights and access to care with the stroke of a pen. In South Carolina, we do not need to imagine the consequences of banning or restricting access to health care. We live this reality every single day. Since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, extreme anti-abortion politicians have been on a crusade to completely ban abortion and restrict access to birth control, IVF, and other kinds of reproductive health care. And y'all, we have been out here with you. We have been out here with you many times, fighting back against bills like this one. Planned Parenthood South Atlantic has been in court many times, fighting against the state's current abortion ban. Yes, that's right. We take it to the streets and we take it to the court. Here is the truth. Anti-abortion, anti-reproductive freedom politicians will not relent, and neither will we. That's right. We believe our right to birth control is a fundamental right. That's right. We believe our right to create and grow our families is a fundamental right. We believe our freedom to seek care when a pregnancy fails, or to make informed decisions when a normal pregnancy becomes complex, is a fundamental right. We believe Our freedom to decide to be a parent or not is a fundamental right. Let's be clear. We know that once they ban abortion, they will come after birth control. We know this because this has always been about control. Control over our reproductive and sexual health and the decisions we make about whether or not to start a family. Friends, the wolf is already at the door. The Trump administration, Congress, Governor Henry McMaster, and this legislature, that's right, and this legislature has already been coming after our birth control. They are coming after our affordable health care coverage. They are coming after our access to basic sexual and reproductive health care. The fight of this nation is happening right here in South Carolina. In addition to banning abortion, as Vicki said, this bill would also criminalize the act of simply sharing information about essential health care. By telling a friend that she can travel to North Carolina to get a legal abortion, you would be violating the law and could be charged with a felony. Under this bill, a South Carolina mom could serve time in prison for driving her kid to another state to get a legal abortion. Under this bill, a survivor of sexual assault would be forced to continue her pregnancy against her will. Under this bill, Planned Parenthood South Atlantic could be banned from operating in the state of South Carolina. This bill may seem outlandish, absurd. You may think, surely they cannot pass a bill this extreme. But y'all, this is the agenda of the anti-reproductive freedom politicians. Their plan from the White House to the State House. This is what they are fighting for. Politicians are hell-bent on violating our rights, taking our freedoms, but we will not let them. I know this is a hard moment. Politics are hard. It is exhausting, and sometimes we just want to give up. But we cannot give up. We cannot. We must fight back. We must continue to show up. You have already taken action by being with us today, by coming out to this rally to show these legislators that you will not sit back and let them take your freedom away. And that's right. Anti-abortion lawmakers may hold power in the State House. They may control the power in these buildings, but we hold power in the streets. We hold power. We have power in our communities. And we have power in the circle of our friends and our families that we will continue to tell what's happening in these buildings. We will continue to turn out. We will not let them take our freedom. I have been at so many of these hearings in South Carolina, and let me tell y'all from the bottom of my heart, there is nobody I'd rather be in this fight with than y'all. We are here to fight with you. Stand with us. Stand with the people who need this care. And don't let them take our freedom. Thank you.
Y'all see what I mean? She's awesome, right? That's my boss. Thank you, Paige. You're always terrific. Next up, I'm proud to welcome Representative Heather Bauer to the stage. Representative Bauer is our 2024 champion of choice because she has fought these bans before and she's ready to do it again. So, please welcome Heather Bauer, House District 75, right here in Columbia.
Good morning. As I walked up through the garage and through the grounds this morning, I was like, I love to see so many friends, but I hate that we have to do it under these circumstances again. But what I want to say is most of my colleagues profess to support freedom. I mean, hell, we even have a whole caucus named the Freedom Caucus. But what does that mean, freedom? See, for me, I think my colleagues in the Senate and in the House, they have it very confused. For many of my anti-abortion colleagues, freedom seems to be the right to do the things I already agree with. You like guns, so you have the right to bear guns, right? That's freedom. You want public dollars going into private schools, religious schools. That's freedom. Freedom of choice for schools. But I want to be very clear. My Republican colleagues, and let's face it, even the moderates vote for these awful bills. The current bill that we have now was supported by the majority in the House and the Senate. They may feel very vindicated with their bans and making it more and more dangerous. And they're trying to outdo each other. But I just want to be very clear, they're sheep. And what I mean, I think we need a history lesson. Why are we here in 2025 discussing this? A lot of people I know have been here and have fought this battle before. But why are we here standing in 2025? How did this become an issue? So we got to go back to the 1970s, right? After Roe v. Wade became law of the land in 1973, and the country woke up and decided that segregation was not good, the GOP realized they needed votes. They needed votes. And so they added abortion to their platform to bring in the far-right faction. And at the time, people on both sides of the aisle, they agreed pretty widely that abortion should be legal. Even the Southern Baptists were on record supporting abortion. I know, it's so sad. But they supported legal abortion because women were dying from illegal abortions. But Reagan saw a political opportunity to get votes, the GOP. They used this as an issue to divide our country. And here we are. You're being used as a political pawn for votes instead of supporting women's rights. So I am so proud of you. Read a history book. Read a history book, folks. Learn your history. You don't have to believe in the talking points that you hear on Fox or whatever news you're listening to. Just read the history, right? The history that they're trying to take away from other people reading. Let me be very clear about that. So I'm proud of you all for showing up today. It's kind of scary being up here 8 months pregnant, standing in front of a bunch of people. But I'm doing it because we have to meet the moment. The people who believe in freedom need to meet the moment. That's why I'm here. I'm proud of you for exercising your First Amendment rights. I ask you to call every senator and representative, regardless if you know they're going to support this or not, call them. Run against them. Run for office. Don't let them get away with this. And we have a lot of things in our way, but what we can do is win back seats and elect people who care about this issue and support this issue, right? We can do what we can do, and that means running for office, supporting candidates who give a damn, and showing up just like this. So don't let them get away with it. continue to show up and fight. Make sure you vote, and don't give up. Thank you so much for having me here today. I appreciate it.
Hey y'all, how are you feeling? All right, my name is Ashlyn. I'm with Planned Parenthood, and I am so excited to bring up our next speaker, my friend Jamie Henderson. She has a story to share with y'all, and I'm just so thankful that she was able to be here with us.
This is my first time ever doing anything like this, so I'm really sorry if my voice shakes.
Yes.
Thank you.
And we have her doctor.
And my amazing surgeon, Dr. Gregory. My name is Jamie Henderson. I was born and raised in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Back in 2021, I was blessed enough to meet the love of my life right here in my home state. Since then, we've been trying to start our own family. I've had 2 miscarriages, and most recently an ectopic pregnancy. My fiance and I were so happy to find out that we were pregnant again, especially after our recent losses. A couple days after I made it to 6 weeks, I had the most excruciating pain, so I rushed to the hospital. They refused the surgery I needed to save my life. They left my ruptured fallopian tube inside me for almost 3 days. With each passing day, my pelvis continued to fill with blood, and the pain felt like torture. We had to drive 2 hours to save my life. I had a slow rupture, which requires surgery. No amount of waiting was ever going to change that. I'm faced with the reality that my chances of having another ectopic pregnancy are now higher because I already had one. I'm terrified to face the same reality all over again. My fiance and I want children. We wanted to build a family in the same state that I've made all my memories in. Now we discuss moving, leaving the only state I've ever known. The abortion restrictions in South Carolina led to a painful and traumatic pregnancy for me, but I'm still lucky to have my life and my fertility intact thanks to Dr. Gregory, the Palmetto Abortion Fund, and my longtime friend Ryan, who connected me to life-saving care. I don't know where you are, Ryan, but thank you. I love you. My story isn't the only one out there. South Carolina's abortion restrictions affect everyone, even women wanting to become mothers. If it can happen to me, it can happen to you too. We have to go back to trusting women and their doctors. Thank you so much for allowing me to share my story with you all today. It means a lot.
Hello. Okay, we're back in business. Like I said, y'all, if you haven't been over to the Planned Parenthood table, we have swag, we have ways to take action, ways to get involved. My colleague, Shaterica, is having a volunteer interest meeting coming up maybe next week. There's info about that. If you live in Richland County, please show up. Our next speaker is another amazing storyteller with Planned Parenthood. I am thrilled to welcome Jill Hartle up to the stage. Jill, come on up.
First of all, I want to thank every single person who is standing out here today. Y'all have no idea what this means to someone who has gone through what some of us have gone through. My name is Jill Hartle. I am a born and bred South Carolinian, and my husband, who's standing right down there, Matt, and I know all too well what happens when politicians strip families of medical freedom. I was forced to carry a pregnancy I knew would never survive. At our 18-week anatomy scan, we learned our daughter, Ivy Grace, had a fatal condition. The state denied me care, denied me an abortion for a pregnancy that would not survive. For 49 excruciating days, I carried grief in plain sight. I walked through the world, through the grocery stores. I work as a hairstylist, stood behind the chair every 2 hours when a woman would congratulate me on my pregnancy and have to explain that my daughter wasn't going to survive and I wasn't getting the care here in this state and was going to have to travel out of the state. So I knew my baby would never come home. That cruelty was not care. It was state-mandated suffering. And while I endured that nightmare, the state failed my husband too. He had to watch the woman he loves suffer. He had to grieve his daughter in silence, powerless to stop the cruelty forced on us by the politicians. That is what government interference looks like. This is what S323 means. Families facing homicide charges for making compassionate decisions. Mothers forced into danger. Fathers standing helpless as their women they love risk their lives. Children's lost because politicians interfered. This bill is not about protecting life. It's about controlling women. It criminalizes doctors. It injects fear into emergency rooms. It tells South Carolinians our bodies are not our own. And the hypocrisy is everywhere. Lawmakers who scream small government want to legislate our wombs. Politicians who preach family values abandon ours in our darkest hour. Men who will never carry a pregnancy claim the authority to decide how women must suffer. And we all know that they will still fly their daughters, their sisters, their cousins, and yes, even their mistresses across state lines to get the care that they need. All while controlling us. That is not morality, that is misogyny, and that is cruelty. When we were finally able to get our help, because we were able to get our compassionate help, we now have a 14-month-old rainbow baby we named Lucy. Thank you. She exists only because doctors, not politicians, guided our care. The truth that this bill denies. I have even helped other women find the same compassionate care I received and when they got their devastating news. Under this bill, I could face a federal offense and going to prison for helping my other sisters in my state. That is insanity. And let's be clear, women will die if Senate Bill 323 passes. The blood will be on the hands of these politicians who have no regard for our lives or our children. If they did care about our children, then they wouldn't slash Medicaid. They wouldn't abandon the kids in this state who need food, health care, and safety every single day. These same lawmakers promised they would not come after contraception, yet here we are. They lied, and they will not stop unless we stop them. So, we say today, loud and clear, S323 must be stopped. For my heavenly angel, Ivy Grace, for my daughter, Lucy, and every South Carolinian who deserves dignity, compassion, and freedom.
Thank you. Thank you as always for sharing your story. All right, next up we have one of my favorite people and favorite fighters in the State House, Representative Dr. Jermaine Johnson.
Hello to my freedom fighters. If you're a freedom fighter, raise your voices loud and clear. Make sure these people inside that building can hear what you are saying, what you are chanting. They have to hear our voices today. They have to understand that we mean business and we won't stand for S323 to get passed. I'm so honored to be a part of this here today because history is going to remember you all favorably. History is going to remember all of the heroes and the sheroes, more importantly, who are out here right now making the voices heard to stand up for the rights of all people in South Carolina. Now, I called you all freedom fighters because that's what we're here today doing. We are fighting for our freedoms. We are fighting, utilizing our peaceful First Amendment rights. Freedom. This is not about Republican or Democrat. This bill here is going to affect all women, all children across this state. It's going to criminalize individuals who are just trying to get the care that they need, not that they want, but that they need to go ahead and just live productive lives. Now, again, I've been up here trying to fight on behalf of all women across the state for the last 6 years. And a lot of my words have fallen on deaf ears, but not today. Not today. Because I'm standing amongst friends. I'm standing amongst individuals who believe that we should have the right to medical freedom. Now, I want to tell you all a little story myself. See, I'm married. Me and my wife, we've been together for 15 years. And thank you. That's my beautiful wife. Y'all can go ahead and cheer for my baby. And I call her the real doctor. And I've told this story a few times before. But we've got 4 children. And I remember going to the delivery room and being in the delivery room. And in there, me and my wife were talking about what could possibly happen, what could be the outcomes. We're talking about, you know, if this happens, I need to advocate for this, or if that happens, I need to say this, or if this happens, this is what we need to do. And if life comes down to it, well, I have to go ahead and make this decision and that. And I'm a God-fearing man. And me and my wife, we're sitting there and we're praying to God, and we're trying to make sure that everything was going to be okay, that everything was going to be all right. But I tell you this, never once during that time when my wife was giving birth did I feel like I would die based on my wife giving birth. Never once did I feel like I would die. But during that time, my wife felt like she might possibly die. She felt like she might possibly lose her life. And for that reason alone, the foundation of women's reproductive rights must come from women. It must come from women. For that reason alone. Because your lives are truly on the line here. And it's not to say that men aren't important, that men shouldn't have some input on how the upbringing of the children come from, but your lives are literally on the line by bringing forth the most beautiful thing that is out here, which is life, which is bearing life. You have the ability to bring forth and continue to repopulate this earth, which is what we need. And we need men who are up there in this Senate building to understand that. I doubt they consulted with their wives. I doubt they consulted with their children. I doubt they went to their communities. I doubt they did anything to speak out on behalf of all women across this state and across this country. Right now, we have individuals up there who are more important about legislating your bodies than they are about fixing the potholes that are out here on this street. We have these individuals up here who are more concerned about which bathroom you go to than actually fixing the issues in the educational system that is broken in this state right now. It is time to tell these people to get their priorities straight. Get out of your bedrooms, get out of your doctor's offices, and get your asses back to work. Because it is time to do something about it. Now, I'm here to tell you today that I have a bill. My bill is 3412. Bill 3412 is called the Joint Committee on Women's Reproductive Rights, because I seem to believe or have this radical ideology that women are smart enough to make their own decisions for their care. I guess I'm super crazy. And in this bill, 3412, the Joint Committee on Women's Reproductive Rights, what it would do is it would have Republican women and Democrat women to come together and figure out what's best for their bodies. And then when they come forward, they will present this to the full General Assembly, and that's when fathers and men will go ahead and put in their opinions and the thing. But the foundation must come from women, because your lives truly are on the line, and nobody can take care of your lives better than you can. So I'm going to leave you with this. If you don't like what's happening in our government, do something about it. If you don't like what's happening, speak up. If you don't like what's happening, show up. If you don't like what's happening, run for office. Unseat these people, because they don't deserve to be legislating your bodies. They don't deserve to be sitting in these chambers. They don't deserve to be speaking on your behalf, because they don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about us. But you know who does? We do. And that's why we are out here today becoming freedom fighters and fighting for our freedoms. And I will always stand on the side of righteousness. I will always stand on your side, and we'll make sure that we're going to take this state back. Thank you.
All right, give me a hug. Bend down a little bit. Thank you. I know everyone here is fired up and ready to go after Dr. Jermaine Johnson spoke. Few housekeeping items. First of all, if you're tired, you can come sit on the steps. That's okay. You can sit behind me on the steps. You can sit in front of me on the steps. Another housekeeping item. We do have some folks here that are protesting our right to have health care. We don't engage in loser energy. We don't engage with them. We have a policy of non-engagement, so ignore them. They are not here to distract us from our goal, okay? Next, we do have a few more speakers, a lot really, but a few more of our coalition partners that have to come up and share some work that they're doing. And so I want to bring up Carrie Schaffner and Mercurius Bird from the Palmetto State Abortion Fund. Come on up. All right, tag team, y'all.
Yeah, we will.
Be loud.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for being out here. My name is Mercurius, and this is our president of the Palmetto State Abortion Fund, Carrie. We want to thank you all for being out here and supporting our work. The Palmetto State Abortion Fund has helped over 750 people get abortion care and reproductive help over this last year. We help people in Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, and North Carolina. We are a mostly volunteer organization, and we can use your support.
Hey everyone, my name's Carrie. You've probably seen me walking around handing out stickers earlier. I'm board president with Palmetto State Abortion Fund. And some of you over the summer may have heard a story about a woman in Florence who was arrested after having a miscarriage. And she was charged with, I believe it was desecration of a corpse. We were able to get in touch with her and help her and get her out of prison and set her up and really help take care of her over these last few months. We know she has a long legal battle ahead of her, and we are supporting her during that. But we can only support her because of all of you, because of the literal tens of thousands of dollars that you donated in support of her and of other abortion seekers across the state, but also because of our volunteers. We, like Mercurius said, are a mostly volunteer-run organization, and that is from everything from tabling to dropping off Plan B at local businesses to fundraising. We're a mutual aid organization, so we only run if we have the money to run. And I don't know about you guys, but I didn't know until I started working with an abortion fund how much abortions cost. The average abortion, if you are still within the first 12 weeks, if you're in your first trimester, can go anywhere from $500 to $1,000. And I don't know about you guys, but that's not usually a lot of money I have just sitting around. So abortion funds are necessary, especially here in the South. So if you haven't heard of us, definitely check us out at PalmettoStateAbortionFund.com. You can also check us out on social media. And I know they mentioned it earlier, there's a couple of other abortion funds here. Please also visit their tables and learn more about what they're doing in their states. Because unfortunately, we say all the time, we wish we didn't have to exist and that people could just access the care that they need without interference from their government. But we're glad that we can exist. And like I said, we only do it because of all of you guys. So thank you so much for being here today and for supporting Palmetto State Abortion Fund.
All right, their table is the blue tent, just so you know. They also got a petition you can sign, some swag. Go say hi to PSAF and see how you can get involved. We have a lot more amazing speakers for you today, coalition partners, storytellers, and the next person that I am excited to bring up is my friend Catherine Harvey.
All right, everyone. I just want you to give yourself a round of applause for being here today. Showing up is a form of resistance, and that is what we need right now. My name is Catherine Harvey. I'm in a special election for Spartanburg County Council right now. I've been knocking on doors, thousands of doors, dozens of town halls this year. And you know what people care about? Health care. Health care. What a novel idea that people want to be cared for adequately, properly. It's that simple. And if that is the issue that people care about, why are we here? Why are we here? We are here because of political jockeying. We are here because our legislature is not listening to their constituents. And the only way out of this is voting them out. So I am here to tell you that you, a great candidate, that people who show up and are civically engaged and care about their community and are willing to step up and fight should think about running for office. Because we deserve better than this. All of us. And I am also sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I know you are too. So right now, you've got elections across this state. Find a local candidate, support them, and then take that energy into the midterms, y'all. This is our state. It belongs to us. So we're going to get up and keep fighting like it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Catherine. This actually is a great segue into my next speaker, which is Allison Terratio. Allison is the current executive director of Emerge South Carolina. She is formerly with Planned Parenthood South Atlantic, and she serves on the advisory council for the Palmetto State Abortion Fund.
Hi, all. Thank you for being out here. This is not hot abortion summer. That was 3 summers ago when we were standing out here and fighting against an abortion ban after the Dobbs decision. Thank you all for coming out today to fight back. I hope you all looked up who your state senators are. I hope you called them. And if they are not on our side, I hope you will think about running against them. And I hope that you will think about helping someone who is running against some other anti-abortion lawmaker. Because the only way that this stops is if we change the people who are in office, right? We have such brave people in there telling their stories right now. Some of them are in the Emerge class right now. They are learning how to run for office. They are learning how to win, and they are learning how to be good public servants that listen to their constituents and make the votes, and raise up your voices rather than raise up the voices of these extremists that stand around and tell us to go back to the kitchen, or stand around and tell us that their whatever flavor of religion they are ought to be our flavor of religion. No, we reject that. And so we say, we are going to run against you. We're going to take your seats, and we're going to reverse these bans. Applications for the class of 2026 are open right now. I welcome women and non-binary folks of all stripes, as long as you're on our side, right? I am partisan, and I am telling you that I want you to be aligned with our values, and I will train you, and I will help you, and there will be a network of people out here ready to help you and support you and knock doors for you and make phone calls for you and help you raise money. You will not be doing this on your own. You will have a network of people behind you. Thank you all.
Give me a hug. Love you. Thank you, Allison. All right, before we bring up our next speaker, I have a little homework project for y'all. So take out your phones, and I will wait. All right, open up your text messages and text the word DEFY, D-E-F-Y, to the number 22422. That will connect you with your legislator, and you can tell them to kick rocks and that you do not want them to support abortion bans. Go ahead and send that text now. You can follow up and do the rest of it later, but pull your phones out and take that action so I can get our next guest up here to speak. It is the word DEFY, D-E-F-Y, and you're going to send that word to the number 22422. Because, y'all, we have a lot of people out here. We all need to be calling them and telling them what's up and telling them we are not okay with this. Imagine if they get all these phone calls and all these text messages and all these emails right now. Thank you. Now, I would love to introduce Representative Hamilton Grant.
South Carolina. Listen, my name is Hamilton Grant. I have the honor and privilege of representing the 79th House District here in the state of South Carolina, right here in Richland County, and it is so good to see each and every one of you out here. Listen, I'm going to be very brief because today is important. My son, who is in kindergarten lately, has been coming and doing homework, and he's been telling us about connections. Daddy, this is connected to that. Daddy, this is connected to that. Well, in that same spirit, let's talk about some connections of hypocrisy. Lately, we've been seeing the party of family values have scandal after scandal after scandal when it comes to family values. Hypocrisy. Lately, we've been seeing the party of family values want to prevent South Carolinians from having families. Hypocrisy. So, the question is, with the hypocrisy, what are we going to do about it? It's so good to see hundreds of y'all come here. It's so good to see hundreds of people sign up to testify. But ladies and gentlemen, shame on us if that is the end-all be-all. It's going to take every single one of us to get back to our communities, to get back at home and help people understand that until we have some better politicians serving in this building behind us, nothing will change. No amount of rallies, no amount of testimony will change until we get these people out of office. And I'll be damned if the party of R.J. May is going to tell each and every one of you what you can do with and with your bodies. How dare people get up here and lie and tell you that they are for families and tell you that they want to protect the womb when not every county in this state has a gynecologist. How dare you? How dare you come up here and lie to the people of South Carolina and say we want you all to have this, but we're going to take that, but want to be the party that takes government out of personal decisions. Hypocrisy. Every single time they put up critical things to call it out. And so, ladies and gentlemen, let's end with this. We have to be better and strategic with how we make our moves. If you can do math, you understand that the party that I'm in, we're in a super minority. So we will do everything that we can to protect South Carolinians. But the fact of the matter is we are not in power. But guess what? We have the opportunity to make that change. We've got a gubernatorial race in 2026, Every single 124 House members in this chamber will be up for re-election. Ladies and gentlemen, when you know better, you do better. South Carolina, let's do a lot better.
Thank you so much. All right, another homework assignment for y'all. I'm not a teacher. I do have kids, though. I want you to turn around and just say hi to somebody you don't know. This is your community. Say hi to somebody that you don't know. These are the people that have your back. Okay, let's make a new friend. And with that being said, I would like to introduce one of my newer and great friends, Christina Picozzi, the Executive Director of the Harriet Hancock Center here in Columbia.
Okay. You think I would get better at public speaking the more that I do it. So I am Christina Picozzi. I am the Executive Director for the Harriet Hancock Center. And you can, go ahead, cheer. Thank you. Yeah. Such a confidence boost. Okay. So if you don't know who the Harriet Hancock Center is or what we do, we are the LGBTQ Resource and Community Center here in Columbia. We have, yes, go ahead, cheer again. Okay, so I'm going to speak from, I think, two lenses. One, I am the ED. SB 323 is an extreme abortion ban, but it's not just that. It is an attack on healthcare because it's a human right, right? Yep. As someone who's part of the LGBTQ community, I also know firsthand that abortion issues are not just a women's issue. This is an LGBTQ people issue. This is a trans issue, a non-binary issue. And we also need access to reproductive health care. And these bans erase us. They put our lives, our autonomy, and our dignity all at risk. I also have a master's in public health, so I'm going to speak from that perspective too. This isn't just a political issue. This is a public health crisis. As some have already said, South Carolina faces severe maternity care deserts. Entire counties do not have OBGYNs or hospitals offering labor and delivery. And restricting abortion care would only further limit access to reproductive health care in a state that already fails to support pregnant people. Yep. We need to be expanding access to care, not shutting it down. And this ban is dangerous, it's unjust, and it's unsustainable. We deserve a future where everyone, no matter their gender, their zip code, their income, their race, ethnicity, can access the care that they need without fear or shame. Abortion is health care, it is our right, and we're not going to back down. We are going to continuously show up in these spaces.
Thank you so much, Christina. Give it up one more time for the Harriet Hancock Center. Okay, y'all, I have another great guest to bring up and introduce to you. This is a colleague of mine. Their name is Vic Kennedy from ARC Southeast. Vic, where are we? Hey, there we are. Abortion funds make this stuff work, just so you know. And ARC Southeast is an abortion fund that is doing work for South Carolinians.
Hi, everyone. Like Ashlyn said, my name is Vic. I'm with ARC Southeast. I work as a Healthline coordinator. ARC stands for Access Reproductive Care Southeast. And South Carolina is one of the 6 states that we assist in accessing abortion care. We are based in Georgia, but my hometown is Columbia, South Carolina, and I drove from Atlanta to speak with you all today. As thankful as I am to be in my hometown, I am very angry to be here. It is so disappointing that I have to be here on the State House steps to talk about something that I thought we had covered 50 years ago. Abortion access is a matter that has been hotly debated across the country for years, but we have had a solution to it up until 2022 when Roe v. Wade fell. Prior to that, and I know this might be surprising for college students that are just visiting, but Abortion was legal here in South Carolina up to the point of perceived viability, 24 weeks. What happened to that South Carolina? The 2022 Dobbs decision muddied the waters unnecessarily, and the trigger bans began. Now, individual politicians are trying to tell South Carolinians what they can and cannot do to address pregnancy outcomes, as if this matter needs to be contested any further. Banning abortion and criminalizing abortion care is systemically violent, and it hurts those of us on the margin of society, rural communities that lack resources to access pregnancy-related care, various communities of color, women experiencing miscarriages, ectopic pregnancies, or fetal anomalies, queer parents utilizing surrogacy, impoverished families, and many, many more. Like Ashlyn said, I work directly with abortion seekers. We have the statistics from states with bans in place similar to what would come about if Senate Bill 323 comes up. Abortions increase under these regions because people become more desperate. More people die due to barriers such as bills like this, and they resort to unsafe abortion methods, which is ridiculous because we exist in a time where we have medical professionals that are willing and properly trained to help these women. It is insulting to the autonomy of the people of South Carolina that bills like this one are pushed across legislators' desks where there are much more dire matters that need to be addressed. Abortion is health care, and access to this procedure, as well as information on how to get the procedure, should not be determined on your birthplace or your home zip code. You should not be expected to travel across state lines for medical care such as this. But I look out into this crowd today and I feel a lot of hope because South Carolinians like you and me are not taking this attack on our reproductive rights lightly. I implore you to continue addressing the matter, to continue to show up to efforts like this, because though your rights are inalienable, there are propagandists in that building right now that are trying to convince you of otherwise. Continue to fight for your rights and stress to your representatives to please vote no. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Vic, and thank you to ARC Southeast for being such a valuable partner in this fight. We are going to take a short intermission. We're going to play some music. Y'all can take a bathroom break, get some water, whatever you need, and then come back here. But I do want to share a piece of information with you from Pregnancy Justice, who does a lot of work with folks who are criminalized for their pregnancy outcomes. Their post-Dobbs report just came out, maybe yesterday, maybe the day before. And South Carolina is in the top 3 of states to criminalize pregnant people for their pregnancy outcomes. And that is before this S323 would potentially get enacted into law. How much worse do you think it's going to get? The number 1 state was Alabama. The number 2 state was Oklahoma, and we were number 3. So just some food for thought. These folks inside, they don't care, but we're going to make them care. So thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. And come back in a few minutes.
Girls, we run this mother. Yeah. Girls, we run this mother. Yeah. Girls, we run this mother. Yeah. Girls, we run this mother. Girls, who run the world? Girls, who run the world? Girls, who run the world?
323. Mr. Chairman and committee members, thank